This topic of housing is really at the core and is as important as it gets for our community. And I'll cover it from just a couple of angles. Now, the topic of homes and affordable housing has been on the public consciousness in a way that it hasn't been in a long time throughout the state. And it comes up within the context of homelessness and panhandling. Now, the way that I've approached the issue of homelessness and panhandling, really deals with two things. First of all, I think that whenever any one of us see people panhandling on the median or panhandling on the streets, I think that we should all see this as a failure of society. And so it should spur us to action, but the question is, what action should this spur? And certainly one thing that I've rejected from the very beginning is the action that just forces us to move these folks from one street to the next so that they're out of sight and out of mind. I refuse to do that. And the approach that I have taken is that, yes, I see this as a failure of society, and it's an opportunity for us to look inside of ourselves and ask, well, what kind of a community do we want to be? And I want us to be a community that invests in the services that folks who are panhandling and folks who are living on the streets actually need. I was a former attorney for Rhode Island Legal Services, and in that job, I did eviction defense. And I represented countless and countless of families that were on the brink, right on the verge of spending that first night on the streets. And through our representation, we were able to usually help them transition from their home to another one so that they wouldn't spend that day in a homeless shelter or find all of their goods outside on the sidewalk when they got home. But over the years, the funding for eviction defense has been eviscerated at the federal level and at the local level. And so I want us to be a community so that when people are facing the threat of foreclosure and of eviction, that there's someone here who can help them transition. At the same time, we know that folks spending that night on the street is part and parcel part of economic challenges and affordable housing challenges. While I want to be part of a community that invests consistently in affordable housing so folks have a place to stay and families have a roof over their heads. Because of that, I am very proud to not only endorse but to urge every single one of our residents throughout the state to vote yes on 7 so that we can make continued investments in affordable housing. And last but not least, we have so many beautiful homes throughout the city, but I want Providence to be a city where these homes are accessible to every one of our residents. And what that means is that we have protections put in place so that folks who live in these neighborhoods, grow up in these neighborhoods, and are invested in these neighborhoods, that they can invest and that they can remain in these neighborhoods as these neighborhoods grow and improve. And so as I mentioned earlier, we need to make sure that through this affordable housing bond and through other very creative approaches, we make sure that we ensure these affordable housing options for every one of our residents so that our residents can actually stay here and raise their families. So thank you so much for all of your advocacy. Congratulations to One Neighborhood Builders. This is just another in a long list of successful projects that is lifting up Olneyville and making us the kind of city that we all know we want to be, one that we can be proud of.